Hello everyone, my name is Angelica. I decided to do my final project presentation on Wayfinders. So starting with background information of the program, it is a 2-year non-degree independent living certificate program for young adults ranging from 18 to 20 years of age, and these students must have an intellectual and developmental disability. A little bit about the history. So Wayfinders was actually established in 2011 in efforts to provide inclusive college options for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This is actually part of Title VII and under the Higher Education Act. A little bit about its mission. They are determined to provide person-centered supports and services which advance self-determination, quality of life, and lifelong learning for students with intellectual and also developmental disabilities. As part of their program, there are domains of support. So with the help of peer mentors, advisors, and other staff members, Wayfinder students receive support in the following major areas, or domains as they call it. So the first one is the residential. So the residential domain is where students receive individualized support from residential staff and coaches. So with this support, students are able to get a better sense of skills necessary to successfully maintain a tidy apartment, maintain a budget, a plan, and also prepare like meals and successfully shop groceries and also pay for rent. The second domain talks on vocation. So in this domain, students are provided with work experiences and classroom opportunities. So they all range on depending what they like and their interests. The third domain talks about university inclusion. So with university inclusion, research findings revealed that students with intellectual disabilities who have some type of post-secondary education were actually more likely to obtain employment, require fewer supports, and have increased self-esteem. So that talks on behalf of the inclusion. The fourth domain talks about activities. So Wayfinder students participate in a variety of activities during their free time. Again, this based on what they like as well. It could range anything that our students would like, and they are supported and encouraged to participate in these activities. The fifth domain talks about transition. So students are supported in ensuring their transition into their chosen community, and it's also goal-oriented, enabling the student to have a productive and fulfilling life. And then the last domain, which is the sixth, is case management. So in this domain, case managers provide directive support in order to promote student independent and self-efficacy. The goal of the case management is to guide students towards utilizing natural supports and other resources to fulfill their activities of daily living. So for this study, the intended audience is California State University, Fresno community, including the stakeholders, which include students, parents, educators, administrators, and staff. For the purpose of evaluation, it is to determine the effectiveness of Wayfinders program and how successful the program is in providing support services to students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Two of my evaluation questions. So the first one consists, how effective is the Wayfinders program in assisting students transition into a post-secondary institution? And then the second one goes into, does implementing programs like Wayfinders in higher education institutions result in positive college experiences for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities? For methodology, for the sample group, I decided to study a group of 50 students in the Wayfinders program, and this would consist 25 students initiating the program and then 25 students ending the program. For the setting, it will be taking place at the California State University, Fresno. For instruments, a pre and post survey will be utilized. In the time frame, I will be using 2 years, which is the length of a program for students coming in. For the measure, surveys and a demographic questionnaire will be used in the study. As far as data analysis, so it would be to compare the pre and post test of students initiating the Wayfinders program versus students ending the Wayfinders program. And it will also look into analyzing the data collected and results from pre and post tests and attempt to make changes to the Wayfinders program. The significance of the study is to understand the effectiveness of higher education programs for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It also sets a foundation to implement similar related programs like Wayfinders for students with intellectual disabilities in other post-secondary institutions. And lastly, to obtain more concrete results to demonstrate future students and their families the benefits of Wayfinders. Further results, and again these are hypothetical, results of the study indicated that the Wayfinders program at Fresno State contributed to the transition into higher education and overall college experience for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. For limitation, the sample size is not significant enough to represent all the students in the Wayfinders. The second limitation would be not all students in the study may have utilized the support services offered by the Wayfinders program. And ultimately, the study did not take into account the differences of first year versus second year students in the Wayfinders program. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you.